broadcaster as...
Yeah.
I forgot I'm using Dota TV.
Yep. It was my newbie mistake. I did the same thing. I'm not used to this. So yeah, this league's been going on for about 5 weeks now. It's been pretty fun. Seen a lot of games. I've cast as many as you can in the meantime. So there's been some pretty good play. Really interesting picks. Not your typical pro picks. So you get to see a lot of new cool stuff. And these players are really cool. They have a lot of fun. So it's a fun atmosphere. A lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good league if you want to sign up if you're from the North American or the European scene. How can they sign up? Just go to tnpgaming.com or whatever?
Yeah, tnpgaming.com is the place to go, and you can go check out their forum, make an account, and sign up. They'll be running some scouting lobbies, and they'll be drafting new teams for Season 2, which should be starting in the near future. So.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool league, so if you want to sign up for a mid-level league for fun, try to be the next Pot and Bomb, aka Dignitas. Who knows? You too could be one of them. I mean, the Dota scene is only going to grow bigger and bigger, so hey, now might be your time to jump into the fray and jump into the thick of things, as this is a pretty exciting league to be part of. Right now, we'll get to the fixed bans as SS Squirtle Squad's going to ban out the Tidehunter, Mule, Naga, and Darkseer. We don't see too much Naga first bans these days, but in this league we see their first ban both cases. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Naga's... It's just an annoying hero that, especially people in this good range, don't really want to play against, because, like, if you've got a team with really good coordination, it's easy to silence and blink in and disable her, but as you saw in the last game, sometimes it's harder to get in there and stop that song from going off. And moreover, there's also a pretty good Naga player on the Squirtle squad.
Yeah, so I should correct myself. Naga is banned, just not in the first round. In the second round, she's banned all the time.
Yeah.
But we're going to see Leshrac, Invoker, and Anti-Mage, and people are picking up Anti-Mage in the first round of the picks these days. Looks like they just want to get their carry out of the way and just say, alright, how are you going to deal with this? Anti-Mage probably the most annoying hard carry in the game to deal with. But UTP picked up a very versatile pick in the Leshrac. They have the option to go for all-out push, which Anti-Mage is quite weak against.
Yeah, I think that's probably the strategy they'll run. They ran that very quick push a couple of times earlier in this tournament and had some pretty good success in that run. So look for a Jakiro as another one of the heroes that they'll pick up. Oh no, they're going to run the Sand King, so it looks like they'll be doing the dual lane Leshrac Sand King, possibly.
Yep, one of the most notorious dual lanes in the game, and they pick up a Zeus as well. So UTP teams after my own hearts. Well, they didn't pick up the bat, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but they did pick up the clock in the last game. Another of my favorite heroes, and Zeus, always going to be a good time. So this actually, considering Anti-Mage in the last game, even though it was played by UTP, usually they do not like to get too many points of Spell Shield early on. They want to go for stats, more of the burning build, because they know they won't be ganked too much. But against Zeus and all this magical damage, he's going to have to forego stats to get a lot of points of Spell Shield, and that'll leave him with a lot less base HP, so that might be something to be worried about.
Yeah, and it's also the way UTP plays this hero, because they played him again. If you want to watch this game where they played the early push strategy, and with Zeus, it was game 1 of the tournament. It was, I forget what team it was. It's on my YouTube channel. It's the one that's not in HD. And they use it as a teamfight hero as well as a pushing hero, maxing the Arc Lightning as well as the Thunder God's Wrath, not Thunder God's Wrath, the Static Field first, to help push down towers and push down creep waves to push quicker.
Yeah, definitely an unconventional style of Zeus. Usually, when we do see Zeus, however rarely he's played, is the Lightning Bolt max, because that is a pretty strong spell. But these bans make a lot of sense. UTP trying to ban out all the counter pushers. Mimo, SS trying to ban out strong pushers. So right now, both teams picking around this pushing strategy. And right now, SS, if they don't get too much experience in the early game, if they really get pressured, they might find their anti-push spells a little bit hard to scale up, considering Windrunner might get pressured early. Invoker does need a decent amount of time to get going, because he's a hero who requires so much experience.
Yeah, I really think that's the main problem with their lineup right now, is that lack of early game. You've got tons of powerful spells, and of course Anti-Mage, like we just saw in the last game, is incredibly powerful in the late game, but against a lineup with tons of stuns coming from Leshrac and Sand King, as well as some very good early game magical DPS, you really need someone who can hold the lines and allow you to get to that late game where you can really dominate.
Yeah, that could definitely be an issue, as SS clearly taking a while. They did they play against this lineup? Do they have familiarity with this lineup?
I don't know if they. I know all of the teams have played against each other throughout the beginning. I don't know. Zeus is a new pick for UTP. I think they've done it 2 or 3 times, and they actually run him on the off lane, hard lane, is what I saw them do the last time. And I didn't understand it at the time. It worked, so I didn't really argue. But
Yeah, that's a little bit odd, although I know Lunas would have a field day with that, as Pudge is going to pick up a hero who's strong in pushes, mainly for the fact that he can catch a person who's defending the tower out of position, get that hook going, and of course, if Pudge manages to get enough HP, he might even be able to charge in and just get that tank going with the rot. But considering this is probably going to be an extremely early game intensive push strategy, just look for the hook, as if he gets the hook on going, suddenly that team is going to have to be defending without one person, and that can make all the difference. But keep to the light. Surprising that UTP did not see that coming, as that seemed to be pretty obvious, but maybe they want to pressure him before he gets going.
yeah, he's one of the top 5 counter-pushing hero supports in terms of spells. He's just illuminates so much spell damage, even from level 1. So good at clearing out enemy creep waves and pushing people back away from your tower, because no one can tank that, not even Pudge early game.
Yeah, that could definitely be an issue. We'll see how they land, and most likely Keep It Alive will be supporting Anti-Mage, Invoker, Mid-Soul, Windrunner off lane. So are they going to pick up another jungling hero to try to get some counter push going for themselves, get some tower trades? Or will they pick up another support to just cement Anti-Mage in his position? We're going to see a Mirana. This is a pretty weird early push strat. Looks like they switched from early push to more ganking, as I'm not too sure what this lineup is meant to accomplish.
Yeah, I'm a little confused here. I'm also confused about lanes, because I was assuming Pudge would go solo mid, and
Probably going to see a farming Pudge in the Tron supported by the other two.
that's that's kind of what I expected. But I'm getting messages saying that they can't hear me on the Dota TV. I'll go fix that. But yeah, I was just the reason I kind of don't see that coming is because that's not how UTP has played the Pudge. Like you saw last game, they put him solo mid, got him some early levels.
Yeah, right now SS taking a lot of time to think about their last pickup, but they might be thrown for a loop as well, because this team, besides Leshrac, is actually not that good in terms of taking towers. Mirana, low damage. Pudge, only good for getting people out of position. Zeus, not good either in terms of taking towers, just kind of pressuring. So this is a very weird lineup by UTP. Maybe they have something else in plan. Maybe they're just saying, we'll just pick whatever we want and hopefully it'll work. We know how to beat SS, and just going for a hybrid style might beat them. But I'm really not too sure about what their team is ultimately designed to accomplish.
Yeah, because it started out, Leshrac and King Zeus are all very good team fight, early game, ganking / killing creep waves. But when it comes down to it, Pudge and Mirana don't really do that to the same extent. Like if you had a Dragon Knight maybe, or who's another carry who can take towers? I don't know.
Lone Druid, I guess.
Yeah, Lone Druid or something like that. You could probably go, or even like if you you don't really need more carries if you're going for that tower pushing. You can pick up like a Jakiro or a Shadow Shaman and get more tower pushing. So.
Yep, I'm actually getting same calls that I am not being heard through the in-game audio, but we're going to see Lich. Lich going to get a lot of experience denied and against a pushing lineup. That's very important, but Lich also might be a bit of a awkward pickup, just because if you deny creeps, that means the creeps will be next to your tower, and they'll be easier to get push going for themselves. But Lich, pretty solid early game. Looks like they just want to get supports for the early game, protect that Anti-Mage, and just get him farmed as soon as possible.
Yeah, as long as he can keep back the levels on the UTP squad, he will be able to delay the push by however much. And as long as you can delay the push, you give more time for your Anti-Mage to farm, your Invoker to get levels, your Windrunner to get levels up.
As, no, looks like I can be heard on Dota 2 TV, as looks like I was a little bit juked about. We're going to choose the players and teams. This is a TNP Gaming Arena. This is, I think, the quarterfinals or the semis of the Losers Bracket. Correct me if I'm wrong. As we're going to choose the players and teams. Looks like UTP. Miserim is going to be playing that Zeus. Zanza is going to be playing the Pudge once again. Parliament is going to be playing the Sand King. Fudge, the carry player, was going to be playing the Leshrac. And Complex Function going to be playing the Mirana. So Fudge playing the Leshrac. Could we see a farming Leshrac? That's very interesting.
Yeah, I think that is what they did the last time they ran that Zeus and Leshrac together. They put the Leshrac in a tri-lane and then had that lane take the tier 1 tower early. I'll go ahead and introduce the Dire squad here. Squirtle squad, Vamp is going to be playing that support Keeper of the Light, Lust on the solo mid Invoker, I'm guessing, Turtle on that support Lich, Anti-Mage being picked up by High, and Kore on the Windrunner on the solo long lane, I'm assuming. So.
Yep. So it looks like Invoker going to pick up fast Magic Stick, clearly anticipating laning against the Zeus, but UTP might just be in for a different surprise, as they're going to send all people up to the top lane. Leshrac has a smoke in his seat, so going to try to place their wards, maybe get a smoke gank going as well. But really, not many items out of the ordinary besides the pickup of 2 sets of Observer wards, I do think.
I think this is actually a very strong level 1 ganking team. If you think about it, you've got an arrow you got an arrow for a stun. You've got, I don't think he'll hook. He'll probably go for a rot on the Pudge. You've got your stun from your Sand King, nuke damage coming out of your Zeus, as well as another stun from the Leshrac. So they can probably do some serious damage in this jungle if they find someone.
Yes, right now they did smoke up, and no wards were placed, but it looks like Dire, they clearly have something in mind. Lich Anti-Mage, this is pretty old school from the early days of Dota 2, as we saw this dual lane run all the time back when it was really popular. Back when Lich was probably one of the top 4 picks in the game to pick up. But yeah, pretty old school lane. We'll see how the Rain decides to deal with it. It looks like their smoke gank is stored. They did not even place any wards. Looks like they're going to place an aggressive mid ward and try to get the push going as soon as possible.
Yeah, or stand there, one of the two. Probably waiting for your solo mid Invoker to come through, but I think they expect the Anti-Mage to be top. They're not expecting this dual lane mid, and I really think this is a good move by Squirtle squad, anticipating the UTP lanes.
Looks like they ping the Lich, and they're going to try to go for a Parliament, going to try to initiate that Burrow Strike. Not the biggest range at level 1, 350, and Lich is able to get right out of there. This gank is probably going to be thwarted, but looks like the other two are going to swing around. No, just going to get back to the lanes. Lich Sand King taking some unnecessary tower damage. So overall, that gank was a little bit waste of time, as they're going to lose a bit of experience, but not too much. But we're going to see a Priestess of the Moon mid with 2 wards. This is interesting, but we are going to see that offlane Zeus, like you called.
Yeah, that is what they did, and it is going to work out this game, because he can definitely go up against the Invoker solo, and I guess both teams kind of just accepted it. I've seen him do it against like a scary Chaos Knight tri-lanes before too, so I don't really understand the whole mental thought process behind it, but, you know, whatever they want to run.
Priestess of the Moon changing lanes. Not too sure what Raiden is doing, as they bought 4 wards, did not place any of them in the early stages of the game, and looks like they're going to switch up their lanes. Looks like SS, that dual lane mid, did throw them for a loop, I mean, but when you have a Lich, that's clearly something you have to keep in mind, just because that tower will just be doing so much damage in the early game, and it won't be pressured too hard. And Lich Ward's another, I'm not really too sure what Raiden's game plan is. Now Pudge is left alone by himself.
That's an awesome arrow on the Anti-Mage mid. There's this follow-up stun from your Sand King, but Leshrac got slowed down, managed to get a stun off. Oh, Anti-Mage just getting away with 20 health, barely escaping that gank there.
Yep, as it looks like the mid lane is stored for a bit. There's going to be a tri-lane mid, pretty unexpected, but they're going to try to get level 2 on Leshrac as fast as possible. Already going to hit that level 2, and watch out for the push. One of the problems with Lich, deny creeps, trying to control the lane, but hey, one less creep for you to work with. So Leshrac going to get some very good edict damage, so it looks like Radiant, they have a game plan now, and that might come back to bite SS a little bit, as Edict is going to be casted, do some damage to the tower at the very least. Not really too much to write home about, but every bit of damage at this stage of the game does count, as Fudge is going to take some harassment. Anti-Mage going to have some difficulty farming it up. Already has 7 CS, so that's good for him. But yeah, this lane has just gotten a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected this. We do see Xantha actually going aggressive on the Keeper of the Light bottom. This might be first blood here. Yeah, there it is. Pudge will pop it with one last hit there. He's low health, though. He's got to watch out for this Windrunner. One lucky power shot, and he's going to eat it as a result. Just waiting for...
Looks like mid lane Lich did take the fall. Hook comes in and whiffs on Kore. Can they get the power shot? Tower doing a bunch of damage. Already used Windrun. That could be a huge mistake. Denies himself and picks up the kill. Windrunner might have made a mistake in there. Dove past the tower with Windrun, but it was used. And Pudge smartly parked himself in the trees. Got the gold and did not give up too much gold himself. Got the suicide going. On this top lane, Zeus is just going to have not too good of a time up against Lust. A lot of regen and the magic stick. Fast magic stick. as they predicted the Zeus offlane, like you said, and Zeus is going to take the fall, a couple more hits, no mana to TP out, going to try to sal up and juke, but Wex is going to be used, going to give him some move speed. Can Zeus escape? Most likely not, but Lust might
Oh no, blocked by the creeps. And
oh man, the shortest range tornado of his life. As another Sun coming in the mid lane, they're going to chain it, Anti-Mage is going to take the fall. Mid lane's going right. Unfortunately, top lane did not get a kill, so it looks like Rain having a solid job on all three of the lanes. Did not see it shaping out.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by this. I was worried at the beginning by their roaming, but this is definitely working out. You kind of expect your Zeus to lose a long lane, right? I mean...
Not a long lane here, and considering Invoker predicted him with the magic stick, really smart choice. But Zeus, all he needs is levels, really.
Yeah, we will see this tower push here in the mid lane. They've got the glyph, so they can defend it with that. Yeah, there you go. There's your glyph. That's going to prevent most of the edict damage. But at the same time, your Pudge is also winning bottom now, which is definitely not something you expected.
Yeah, definitely not indeed, as Leshrac picks up a ball and boots. It's waiting to be delivered. You know, Lich has to be careful about denying too many creeps, so that's going to give a little bit more experience. Arrow going to fly and will it catch anybody? Looks like they just dodged out of the way. The Anti-Mage is really afraid to come in because they know they'll just get stunned by the Sand King and just take too much damage, as looks like Leshrac does not have enough mana to use either of his spells at this stage in the game, so Rain doing a solid job.
Looks like he's bottle crowing, except instead of bottle crowing, it's bottle donkeying at the moment. Hasn't been upgraded yet.
Yeah, that speed can make the difference. I think he just got the ball. He had 1100 gold. Arrow gonna whiff once again. Looks like Invoker found the pull by Zeus. Zeus gonna check the rune as well. Rune is on bottom lane. It's a regen rune, so Dire most likely gonna pick that up. But here comes just banning out the splitter, and the Anti-Mage is stabbing him.
Oh, there's a Shackle bottom channeling the Illuminate, but they're not gonna be able to do enough damage. Pudge is gonna survive. Excellent Shackle though.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one way you can deal Anti-Mage. He does have a difficult time laning just because he can't really provide too much offensive power. So they have a clear game plan in mind, but Runner picks up a regen rune. Will she help out the mid lane? Edict might kill this tower, but Glyph is already used, so this tower will take the fall. Can they get the deny going? No, they do not. Splur's going to deload the onslaught. It looks like the teleport was cancelled. Pudge picks up, keeps the light at the bottom, and Arrow is chained onto the Anti-Mage. Nice victory by the Rain. SS, a little bit confused, and I can't really blame them.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected a tri-lane mid. I haven't seen that since pubs when they let my brother pick. You know, that's completely crazy. Normally, you send a duel in like Lich Anti-Mage mid, and you expect it to do pretty well against something like a Zeus or a similar hero, or even Pudge, because you've got Lich for your slow, and then Anti-Mage blinks in, gets a couple mana break hits off, and next thing you know, your Pudge has no mana and isn't able to do anything and gets forced out of the lane.
Yeah, and this lane is very odd, and more importantly, it gives Leshrac some nice gold in the early game, and he's going to pick up the rune on, well, it was already taken by the Dire, so that's going to be unfortunate for the Leshrac. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage trying to desperately pick up as much farm, but if they can get their push going before Anti-Mage picks up, Anti-Mage won't be able to rush Battle Fairy unless he wants to do a lot of split pushing. So he might be better served going for the Vanguard, very old school these days, but considering he's not going to get fast Battle Fairy, that might be the better option, as the splitter, or the Burrow Strike going to come in, going to chain Anti-Mage in place. Can they get enough damage? Anti-Mage does blink out, but they're not letting him farm, and that is extremely important.
Although, even though he's been having this hard time in lane, he is currently second in farm, and he's second only to the Invoker, so he's really not having that bad of a time. He is... I mean, it's not the kind of farm you want out of your Anti-Mage, but it's still a lot better than it could be. He also has a Ring of Health now, so he will be able to stay in lane a little bit better, and...
Yeah, so looks like Zeus did die on that top lane. Mirana tried to cast the arrow, did hit, but not enough damage to kill the Invoker. Level 3 Mirana deals next to no damage, as Ray going to try to get the push going on the top lane. They do have level 2 of Edict, so they are going to provide a bit of pressure, but Invoker at level 8 has a solid level of Tornado, so that might be a bit annoying to deal with in this push. But Leshrac Edict smartly just positioning so it focuses only the tower. Even if he does take some damage, Parliament going to go in on that Invoker. Lust going to be stunned for a little bit. Parliament just going to have to back up for now. It looks like there's going to be reinforcements on the top from the mid lane, as Lich can leave the Anti-Mage by himself, but this tower is going to take the fall, so more gold going into the pockets of the Rain, and meanwhile Pudge not having too bad a time in the spot lane, even though his tower is quite low.
Yeah, and this is exactly what UTP wants to do. They have to get this early tower advantage, or else, as we saw in the last game, Anti-Mage is just going to run free across the game, because you can't keep up with him. You don't have any comparable carry. Mirana, I guess if she gets the farm, but she's playing a support Mirana complexity style. She's not going to get that Manta.
Oh, nicely done by the Windrunner. Shackled the Pudge just in the nick of time. Tower couldn't kill the Windrunner. No, as Pudge was going for the deny, Illuminate came in on the Pudge as she shackled the Pudge just as he got the hook. Thunder God's Wrath coming in as Zeus just hit 6, so Windrunner did salve up in the nick of time. Always something you have to do against Zeus, just constantly be aware. But Zeus with that 90-second cooldown buff on that Thunder God's Wrath, it'll be up relatively soon.
Yeah, and he's also got a mana boots up already, so even though he died once to the Invoker, he still has gotten at least a fair amount of farm, enough to spam his spells. So he will be able to push, and he will also be able to do some damage in team fights.
Keeper of the Light being way too annoying, as looks like Edict is going to be used. Here comes the gank going on the top lane. Looks like Leshrac doing a bunch of damage, but took a lot of damage to the tower. Coldsack going to come in, sealing Leshrac's face, as looks like Les going to go back on the offensive, as Sandking caught out of position. Sandstorm was already used. Burrow Strike not enough, as looks like Rain did take a couple of deaths, still leading in terms of kills, but this tower being successfully defended, and that is a big victory for Dire, considering Anti-Mage has been farming pretty much non-stop for a while.
Yeah, if you're going to consider that was a 3-on-3 engagement, I believe, under your tier 1 tower, winning 2-1. Oh, huge hook, Dismember. That's going to be your dead Anti-Mage right there on the mid lane. Just barely catching him on the end of that Dismember. Max range. I think he's only got he's got a level 4 hook, so very good play by Xansa there in the mid lane.
Yep, Xansa had some nice hooks in the last game with the combination of that Clockwork Rocket constantly revealing everything. Definitely not something to underestimate, but Anti-Mage, did he pick up his item in the meantime? No, it looks like his item buying was thwarted. Had enough for a Viv booster, but looks like he's just going to be greedy and try to get a Battle Fury and try to do that, but they are out farming the Radiant at the very least, as looks like there might be push Keeper of the Light, just too annoying to deal with.
Although, while your Dire team was going top in this push, you've got your Radiant team, who are a much faster pushing team with the Leshrac against your tier 2 mid, so you can't... at this point, the Dire is not capable of a pushing race.
Yep, as looks like there's going to get a bunch of teleports. Keeper of the Light going to channel his Illuminate once again, doing a bunch of damage, keeping everybody at around half HP. Really, really annoying to deal with, as they don't have anything like a Juggernaut Healing Ward, Necro, Death Pulse. They should have considered... Probably should have considered banning the Keeper of the Light, but looks like Lich places Ward. It was spied. Will they go for the engagement? Hook going to come in, dodged as Pudge picks up that Soul, and EMP constantly draining mana. Really, really strong defensive spells with that Invoker and Keeper of the Light combination, considering Invoker got a lot of experience. It looks like Lich is going to take the engagement. Does die to the Zeus Thunderbolt, as Les is going to take a bunch of damage. Illuminate doing a huge amount of damage, as it was managed to kill the Pudge at the very least, ending a dominating streak, giving a nice chunk of gold, as Zeus going to try to escape. Can he do so? That's going to be tricky against Lex Invoker with phase boots and jumps.
Yeah, there's your
Zeus
tornado.
will take the fall.
There's your Tornado, there's your Windrunner coming around the back. He's very dead Zeus. Unfortunate for him. He did get the kill though, so for your off-lane hero, he's still doing pretty well. Level 8, he's got his mana boots up, it's all he really needs. And I think he's their mech builder as well, judging by the 2 GG branches in his inventory. So if he can get that up, their pushing is going to go much better in the near future.
Yep, all the while, Anti-Mage farming on that bottom lane, not yet 50 CS, but considering he was facing a frickin' trialing mid, then it's really, really hard to farm against that. So, it's 50 CS at this stage of the game, pretty respectable. But looks like UTP, their push has pretty much crawled to a halt, and that's pretty unfortunate for them. Not too many high-level heroes on their side. Huge experience advantage. Well, not really that much, considering Pudge and Zeus have nice experience themselves, but Leshrac not getting experience he wanted or needed, and Keeper of the Light just constantly keeping them back.
Yeah, that Keeper of the Light pick was absolutely crucial for this lineup against this early push, because it's just the way it is. Unless UTP gets a very good early advantage, they do not have the carry potential to really deal with an Anti-Mage late game. Oh, Invoker might get hooked here. No, just barely going to miss that hook. Arrow will also miss, so I'm guessing UTP needs to back off here. They don't really, without those 2 initiation spells, they're not able to take an engagement here.
Oh, Fudge takes a bunch of damage, gets shackled, as looks like Lich is going to be the first one to fall. EMP going to fly in as well. Keep the light channeling the Illuminate, bring down everybody to solo HP. Once again, Fudge does take the fall. Sand King wants to go back for more. Arrow is going to win. Once again, these arrows have not been too good, but they are going to kill Keeper of the Light, and that might give them the boost they need to get the push going, considering the tower is very low HP. Invoker, his spells will be cooling down relatively soon, but Leshrac dead. The tower is low, but more importantly, that Keeper of the Light is gone.
Yeah, that's the really annoying one. Invoker's, his spells aren't as annoying yet as they will be later in the game, and moreover, he's barely got any mana left. I do not think any of the Dire team have mana boots finished, so they're not able to keep up this defense without Keeper of the Light's Chakram, because that's the other spell you have to keep in mind when you're playing against a Coddle.
Well, I think they might have to watch out. Unlike other push strategies where you have a jungler with the summons to tank up a bunch of damage, they don't have many summons for them, so Lich Chain Frost might just be a huge deciding factor in the next push.
Yeah, he hit level 6. The only hero who isn't at level 6 yet is Mirana, but I don't think her ultimate is going to be that important early game.
Definitely not, as Anti-Mage trying to go for that Battle Fury. Still, well, has a Void Stone, so about 1,200 gold away from finishing that Battle Fury at the very least. Pudge Hook gonna go in, trying to catch a winner. Winner dodges, nicely done. But Keeper of the Light is back, gonna channel that Chakra Magic like you said. Here comes Gage, and Winner might take the fall. EMP gonna fly in, Thunder God's right, gonna be a nice split by the rain, as Keeper of the Light gonna get hooked, as Keeper of the Light did pick off the Zeus at the very least, and killed Mirana at the same time. Man, even when he dies, he still picks up a couple of kills. This Keeper of the Light pick is just too good.
He's already level 8. It's in your support off-lane hero, you really can't have him hitting level 8 and spamming those Illuminates like he has been doing. While Pudge did pretty well in the lane, he wasn't able to keep it down.
Anti-Mage decides to stop farming for a bit. I'd rather see him farm, as he could not get too much accomplished in that fight, as he did waste a TP scroll, and now it's going to be difficult to farm up there, so that might be a little bit of a mistake for the Anti-Mage. Gonna have to journey all the way back to the mid lane or the bottom lane in order to have safe farm. So that's going to cost him 1 or 2 minutes of farming.
Yeah, and since their strategy really relies on staying alive into that late game, every minute that Anti-Mage loses is another minute that the other 4 heroes on the team have to hold out against this team fight, as, like, they're when Invoker, you've got a time clock on your hand. Anti-Mage will win the game if he goes late enough, but...
Yeah, as fortunately for SS, Invoker was such a high level, the highest level in the game. I do think, yep, level 11, he's going to be dead for the next 30 seconds. Only 20 seconds left, but that Illuminate and Power Shot can do a number of damage, as looks like Leshrac can do as much damage as possible. Can they get a hook going? Zenza approaching very, very intimidatingly, but Invoker is going to be alive for this next defense. And looks like UTP, their push has run out of gas considering they're so low leveled. It's going to be difficult to break this siege, or break this tower defense at the very least.
Yeah, although I believe Lich... Oh, huge hook goes down on Lich, just not even needs the Dismember there. Dies to the rot damage. Parliament trying to follow it in, killing off the Windrunner, not quite. And Winner is going to make it out, pushed back by an EMP and an Illuminate coming out of the Keeper of the Light. Sand King will fall, and Leshrac will also fall. That's 2 dead, excellent defense. Pudge looks like he's also going to fall. No, suicide on the Pudge, just barely dodging the Anti-Mage ult. That's a small gain, but even still, you've lost 3 heroes there in your push, and you didn't take the tower. So.
Yeah, honestly, considering the bans, they banned Chaos Knight, Undying, or SS decided to ban Chaos Knight, Undying, and somebody else, I can't exactly remember. I would have liked to see UTP pick up a jungler, but considering no jungle heroes were picked up in the last 2 picks, even a Lycanthrope in the jungle would have been very nice. Because right now, their push is running on gas very fast, considering they have no mech up just yet, no summons to help take the damage of the Keeper of the Light Illuminate. If you had a Chen or something like that, at least you have the neutral creeps, so they wouldn't die in one shot to that Illuminate. So I think UTP, they're a cool push strat, but it's just falling out of gas against this defense.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of stuns, they've got a lot of ganking ability, and they've been able to get a lot of pickoffs. They are winning in kills by a small amount, and as a result, I think they still... No, they've actually lost their experience. They're behind in experience now, just because of this Invoker and this Anti-Mage doing so well.
Yep, one of the downfalls of the pushing strategy is that you're pretty much always as 5, and ever since Pudge decided to join the group, experience was lost by a decent amount. But, yep, Vamp just gonna go for that Force Staff. Already has a Staff of Wizardry, gonna be constantly channeling Illuminates. Tornado gonna fly in, using it as much as possible. Looks like the Hook gonna fly in. Keeper of the Light dodges it nicely. Is level 6, has that Illuminate going. So this, man, it's going to just be so tough. They really need to get that dagger up on the Sand King if they really want to break this defense. But he's just so underfarmed.
Yeah, all of the heroes have very low creep scores because they're just unable to spread out and get farm as a group. And it's not what their lineup's designed to do. Their lineup's is designed to grow as 5 at a very early level. It's just against the Keeper of the Light, against the Lich Ultimate, against Invoker spells, against the Power Shot. That's really not as easy as you'd want it to be. Comes in. Illuminate is dodged this time. Arrow hits on Lich, but the UTP aren't able to go in.
Sand King gonna try to channel his Epicenter, unfortunately canceled it the last time. And Dire picks up a tower themselves. Illuminate doing too much, not too sure what that Sand King was doing, trying to be a hero. Unfortunately, he did die. It looks like Invoker's gonna get hooked, but Leshrac does take the fall. Invoker, will he even die? It looks like he's not even gonna die. Chainfrost's gonna do a bunch of damage, and this might be the beginning of the end. Raid just cannot break the defense of the Dire, as 4 heroes died, only Zeus survived. And Zeus cannot hold a push by himself. And meanwhile, Dire are going to get a lot of map control, going to get a lot of towers for themselves. And I really am concerned about this Raid lineup. They're just not able to get what they want.
Yeah, their lineup was very specifically geared towards one thing, and it hasn't worked out. We've seen it a couple times in a lot of other games where you go for that early push, and unless it works, you have no chance. You've got no competent late game heroes to go up against an Anti-Mage here. You don't have, I guess you might have some disable, but nothing to take care of an Anti-Mage blinking around, who, by the way, Anti-Mage does have his Battle Fury before the 20-minute mark, so.
Yeah, pretty solid these days, especially considering he was facing a trial lane mid, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, usually in these scenarios, push strategies don't really die until the 20-25 minute mark, but this one has solid Aghast, and I do have to think that it's because they don't have any summoning heroes. Usually in push strategies you have something like an Enigma, an Undying, which was banned, Chen, Enchantress, which I do not think were banned at all, or a Lycanthrope to just get those summons to tank some of the spell damage. Looks like a Smoke might give them what they need, but looks like Dire did not spy it out, but they do know something is up. Here comes the Pudge to initiate. Can they get the hook going on Lust? Tornado gonna fly, and Arrow is gonna whiff. Hook misses as well, as here comes, looks like they're just gonna try to get away from the Keeper of the Light, pick off the winner at the very least. Moonlight Shadow being used as well, as this is a huge risk by the Raid. They try to get something to get, but only get 1 kill, and that's not what they need considering the creepy equilibrium is pushed so far back and Anti-Mage is farming all the while. They got 1 kill, but that was ultimately not what they wanted.
It's not nearly enough. They have to get big wins and get far ahead so that Anti-Mage can't stay ahead of them. Hook will miss on the Anti-Mage here on bottom lane. Sansa TP'd, tried to get that surprise kill again like he did earlier, but was not able to get the hook off into the fog.
Yeah, so I don't know if they should have just banned Keeper of the Light. They just should have picked up, you know, Chen or Enchantress, which I don't think were banned. But right now, they have to try to get themselves back in game, and the best way to do that is just farm. You can't just keep throwing your heads up against this brick wall. That is the Keeper of the Light and the Invoker defense, and even the winner at this point has enough levels into Power Shot where she can clear creep waves by herself as well.
Yeah, there's tons of anti-push. I really do have to credit the picks here on the SS squad. They're actually playing without their captain right now. Leprechaun is their captain, and he is not on. He wasn't able to make it tonight, so they are playing without him and still getting some very good picks, playing very well. So, kudos to them.
Yep, looks like Fudge picks up double races. We'll just check out the items really fast. Zeus Arcane Boots and Magic Wand. Sansa has not made too much item progression, as looks like there's going to be a hook in the mid lane. Going to pick off the Windrunner, but probably the least important hero in this on the team for the Dire. Fudge, double racer, Arcane Boots. Mirana picking up Arcane Boots as well, just to try to minimize that EMP damage as much as possible. 4 Arcane Boots might be going a bit overboard, but they just need all the push they can get. But meanwhile, in the Dire, they have 4 staff. They have going for an Orchid on the side of Lust. 4 staff already up on Keeper of the Light. High is going to get his Yasha very, very soon. So it looks like Iron's going to start to tick in as Anti-Mage going to go for this Zeus. Looks like, can they get the kill? Cold Snap going to come in. Nice arrow. Going to pin Lust in place. Anti-Mage trying to get the body block onto Pudge. Will he be able to commit suicide? As no, it looks like the Frost Nova by the Lich was able to finish that off. But yeah, Dire just getting more and more ahead at this point.
Yeah, they've got the leading kills, and actually they're going to smoke to get away now, go bottom lane, looks like. Fudge is trying to run away from this Windrunner and also the Keeper of the Light, while at the same time getting cut off at the other end by Lust and the Lich. This is a very, very dead Leshrac. He's got no chance of surviving this one.
Yep, winner picks up the last hit, gonna be going for that mechanism, gonna have it in about 500 gold. You know, Anti-Mage just content to go back to the jungle, because right now in Dire, they don't really have to hurry. They can take their time. They've already stopped the presence of the push, and really Raiden have just completely run out of gas.
And they can still get some ganks off. They demonstrated that on the mid lane with the Windrunner. They've got very strong ganking heroes, some very strong disables coming from Pudge Dismember, as well as an Arrow. But that, unless they can get off a series of very successful ganks, and also I would say a good big team fight where they get off their big Zeus ult, their big Sand King ult, I really don't think that there's a way that they can prevent this Anti-Mage from just getting completely out of control.
I'd really like them to just farm up the Sand King as much as possible. Try to get the dagger and break them. But Zeus is going to smoke up below half HP. Well, smoke. They're all grouped up as 5. Here comes the smoke. And does the Dire suspect they have 2 heroes on the top lane? They are a bit spread out, so this might be a bit bad for them. As looks like they're just going to run past the ward. But there is a Centaur going to spot out Fudge. Nicely placed Centaur. That's going to mean the end of the smoke gank. Keeper of the Light trying to run away as fast as possible. They're going to swing around back mid, try to get the gank going. But yeah, it's not looking likely. Sand King going to charge in. Can he pick off the Invoker? Looks like Lust's going to find himself out of position. Not too sure, but it looks like he's going to immediately take the fall. They had full awareness. Not too sure why Lust just didn't get the heck out of there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate positioning on his part. I think he was a little overconfident in his maneuverability with his Force Staff as well as his Phase Boots. Didn't expect that much of an aggressive smoke gang coming out of the UTP. That was very, very aggressive on their part, going straight up into the enemy jungle. But now they've got us, with Invoker dead, they've got a chance to take this tier 2 mid tower as long as they can avoid a couple of Illuminates. I believe they'll be able to. The only problem is they don't have anything else to tank the tower.
Yeah, it would be really nice if the Radiant had a mechanism, but unfortunately for them, they don't. So they're just going to tank that eliminate damage or try to dodge it. Either way, their creep wave is going to take the fall. As another wave, it's going to be channeled as Anti-Mage is going to get... Oh, that hook so close and yet so far. Going to be dodged, and Anti-Mage is going to continue his farm. Meanwhile, Illuminate and Power Shot enough to hold the siege, and Invoker has respawned. So Radiant gonna have to make their play very soon, otherwise Anti-Mage will just get his Mantis style up. And this will just mean a dead Radiant squad. Here comes a hook. Dodges. Or just missed. Just by the tip. As looks like Radiant going to teleport out. And Zenza going to be caught in the middle of no man's land. He is going to take the fall either by suicide or by death. That is up to the Dire.
He's got no chance of getting out here. Yeah, there's the Shackle. He's finished. He's not even going to be able to get the deny off now.
Yep, so... Looks like Sand King continue the roam, trying to go onto the Anti-Mage, going to channel the Epicenter. Can they chain the stuns?
No, unfortunately.
Use the Epicenter, and they had no stuns. Arrow was on cooldown, like you were about to say, and they're going to go on the pursuit for the Sand King, going to be held in place by the Tornado. Sandstorm going to survive, let him survive for a little bit, but here comes the Dust, and that's going to be the end of that Sand King. So, man, it's just, honestly, unless they can get 2k gold up on the Sand King in the next 2 minutes, I really don't see a way that Rain can come back.
Yeah, the push is now going the other way, which when you pick now that they're being pushed against instead of pushing, the Radiant lineup is not nearly as well suited to this. You've got your Zeus for AoE and that's about it. Except Leshrac hasn't taken any points into Lightning Storm, so he will not be able to... Oh, Arrow into Hook is going to pick off the Keeper of the Light. Zeus ult to finish that one off, but Tornado's going to come through. Shackle Shot, EMP. I don't think... Oh no, Dire will back off without Keeper of the Light. I don't think they need to, though. You've got your Anti-Mage still.
Yeah, he's content to farm up Dire. They pushed the creep wave quite far. Keeper of the Light not so high level that he won't respawn relatively soon. He's going to respawn in about 15 seconds and start his defense going. Anti-Mage finishes his Mantis style. Looks like Keeper of the Light should be back with the Power Shot and the Invoker Tornado spam. Keeper of the Light will be back to defend. Looks like can they get the hook going on the Anti-Mage, placing a ward very, very aggressively, trying to get as many ganks as possible. Anti-Mage going to dodge smartly out of the way. And guess who's back? Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, and that means the push is just shut down. He's just pops his ultimate so that he can channel Illuminate as well as run around Chakra to keep everyone high mana, so more Power Shots, more Tornadoes, more EMPs.
Yep, you name it, you name it. As Invoker just taking his time, just leaving the farm to the Anti-Mage, trying to go for that Orchid, keep it light, content to take as many CS as he wants to, because hey, he deserves it. As just checking out more of the items, which has a 4-staff himself, man, just so many 4-staffs, so many ways to escape side of UTP, even if they do get a Pudge Hook or a Marana Arrow. They have 4 staffs to get them out of the way. Anti-Mage has finished the Manta style, so now he's a tank, and he has max level spell shield, level 16, so he's just going to be pretty much unkillable unless they focus everything on him. Here comes the tornado, going to fly in, misses everything, but looks like EMP going to fly in for the Sand King. Sand King going to burrow strike out. Will they chase? As Invoker going to go down as he went a little bit too aggressively. Hook goes in on the Keep the Light as Zenza is going to get his stun immediately channeled or disrupted as Chainfrost going to come in, going to bounce up to the Marana at the very least, but Anti-Mage is going to go on to a Terror. Here comes the burrow strike as Moonlight Shadows is going to be used. Anti-Mage is going to get chain stun down as he's forced to retreat. Nice engagement by the Radiant, but I can't help but think that Dire sort of let them have it as Winner. Can she escape? Looks like she might be able to.
Anti-Mage so low here, and the Radiant aren't able to go in because... No, here we go. I think he will... No, not quite. He's just going to blink out. That arrow will take him down to about 90 health. I think... No, Windrunner won't take the fall either. So, on the whole, that's a good engagement for the Radiant. They got 3 for the price of 1 Pudge. Granted, the only important hero you got there is the Invoker. He's the only big prize. Anti-Mage got out just barely alive. But even still, that is a victory, and they will be able to at least do a little bit of damage here on the mid tower. No, everyone's alive. Here comes Keeper of the Light with that Illuminate spam. And none of the Radiant heroes have any health to actually push this because no one has a mechanism yet.
Yeah, it's looking very, very unfortunate for the Radiant, as even if they won that fight, it looks like a smoke up by the Dire, as here comes the engagement going the other way. Looks like there's going to be a blink in aggressively for the Sand King. Going to Sandstorm it up. An arrow hits Lust once again. Sand King, can he escape? No, both of his spells are on cooldown. He is going to take the fall, as it looks like the push is coming late. It looks like Dire, they just want blood. They just want to end this. As, yeah, I think that team fight that the Radiant won was mostly on the bad positioning of the Dire, but we'll see if Dire makes the same mistake again. No, they're just going to continue to farm. They know they have this game they have this late game in the bag, so might as well just play it safe.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to really push it right now. They've got the Dire Roshan advantage as well, as they've taken the important Tier 1 towers from the Radiant, but they themselves have not lost their bottom Tier 1. So they're perfectly content to sit back, wait for a Roshan maybe on the Anti-Mage once he gets another big item, if he wants to wait that long, and then just push for the GG.
Oh, Keeper of the Light going to be caught between a Marana and a Pudge. Going to force stab himself out. Marana already used the arrow. So Keeper of the Light should be able to escape Hook and a fly in, but Keeper of the Light smartly just goes the other direction. So Pudge's attempt is going to be thwarted. Meanwhile, Invoker still has died in 2 team fights in a row, so has not picked up the farm. Meanwhile, Zeus has finished the 4-staff at the very least, so that is something.
In terms of items, that's really where you can see the extent to which the Dire are winning. Your Pudge in 30 minutes has not finished a Hood, and you don't have a mech anywhere on the team. Marana is trying to buy it. She's about 300 gold shy of that right now, whereas on the Dire team, Squirtle Squad has a beginning to a Basher already on the Anti-Mage. You've got a 4-staff up on all of your support heroes, mech up on the Windrunner.
Oh, nice 4-staff onto the Zeus, going to try to defend him, but he just 4-staffs himself back, as Windrunner is not going to get this gank going successfully, and Dire, they're just going to probably split push it up. Looks like Anti-Mage is going to eventually make his way to top lane, but they're just going to keep up the pressure. You know, Moonlight Shadow was used to save that Zeus. Looks like they might be able to kill this bottom tower at the very least. None of the Dire heroes are in position to defend it. Invoker's going to teleport back to try to muster up some sort of defense. But this might be a little too late, as Dire are going to lose the tower at the very least. No, a bunch of teleports in. Leshak does destroy a tower. Anti-Mage takes the top tier 2, and here comes the lightning bolt by Zeus. They're going to have to defend the top lane, as the Rax are going to be in danger. Here comes Chainfrost. Winner does take the fall. Definitely Blast going to use that as well. Arrow going to fly and hits the Lich. Can they kill the Lich? Oh, I'm not too sure they can, as looks like they're forced to defend the top lane push. Zeus is at the very least, so Lich is going to escape by the skin of his teeth. And Radiant starting to make they're making the moves that they need to, but they have a lot more to go in order to get back in this game. They've really just really need the dagger up on the Sand King, and may they get a chance to make a team fight happen and get it going their way.
I think he's going to have a chance to farm here on the top lane now that that tier 2 tower is gone and Anti-Mage is backed off. And he is only 400 gold away. If he can get these last hits on this creep wave, now he's only 200 gold away. He's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, considering no pipe in the works on the side of the Dire, it looks like an arrow catches Lust, but the hook whiffs. Here comes the Pulse Nova. Can they get the stuns? Edict gonna fly in as well. Can Lust escape? A couple more hits will mean the death of Lust. One more hit, Lust will escape as that creep, that Pudge hooked, meant that Lust could be saved. Gonna cast his Tornado just because he can, and EMP is just gonna slow down the push, and Pudge must just be kicking himself.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Then the other thing is the creep wave that got in the way and blocked the Edict damage. It was just so unlucky. It's the same as with the Lich kill up on the top lane where the Lich got out with like 3 HP. Just so close, but yet so far.
Yeah, that seems to be a reoccurring theme here as he's going to be forced to teleport back to defend his push. Sand King still not yet to his Blink Dagger as he abandoned the farm to get the push going mid, so that's going to be delayed a little bit longer. Meanwhile, does the Dire have any item progression going? Wonderhunter has the Mechanism, Force Staff on its way relatively soon. Keeper of the Light, 1500 gold in the bank. Orchid almost up on the Invoker and about 600 gold. Bachelor is finished on the Anti-Mage. So Dire getting their items. Meanwhile, on the side of the Radiant, Dagger is going to be up for the Sand King in about 20 gold. It's going to have it right about now. Meanwhile, Pudge trying to go for that hood, and looks like there might be a wraparound gank for Fudge. Does not see it coming. He is going to take the fall. Shackle Shot does latch onto the tree. EMP Tornado is going to come in as well as the Power Shot. One more hit does going to be used as well to prevent that Moonlight Shadow, but Fudge does take the fall. Will he go for a top lane push? Now might be the time.
Luckily, before he died, he did manage to finish up a Black King bar, so he will, in the next team fight, be able to do some damage. There are no BKBs up on the Dire team, so Leshrac will be able to run around and do some damage with his BKB turned on. But other than that, and maybe if the Sand King gets off a very good ultimate now that he has a Blink Dagger, you don't have that much team fight on the Radiant, and they're really going to have a difficult time defending this push against such a farmed Anti-Mage.
Arrow whiffs once again. Here comes Hook. It does manage to latch onto Windrunner and gets dismounted, but of course that's going to save for now. Looks like Sand King going to take a bunch of damage. All his mana is completely drained before he can even get the epicenter. Looks like Dire going to continue his push, considering Sand King has no mana. No, managed to get enough mana. Epicenter was used as he tried to get the channel going, but Epicenter, I don't know if the Dire noticed. Maybe they do. Maybe that's why they're going to go in. No, they're just going to take that tower, back off. Arrow comes in, hits the Anti-Mage, but not enough damage. Force Staff going to prevent him from being hooked in. And Dire, they can just slow play it because they have all the advantage in the world.
They're actually going to back. Looks like they're going to back off and do a Roshan now. I think what happened to Sand King is he got his ultimate canceled by the EMP. I'm guessing. I think he was positioned too far forward in the team fight where he was accessible. But then again, the team fight was very spread out, so I don't know how many positioning options he really had.
Yep. Alacrity gonna go on to that Anti-Mage as we can just check out the gold per minute. Anti-Mage not yet 500, but still has enough for buyback, all of that good stuff. 10k gold lead in favor of the Dire, even though the kill count is pretty much even. Age is picked up by the Anti-Mage. Looks like the Radiant do want to take this fight as they're going to try to go in. Can they make anything happen? Here comes Lich. Lich is going to just immediately die right off the bat. Don't know what Lich was doing. Here comes the Blinking by the Sand King, going to Sandstorm immediately. Will the Radiant decide to back off with that victory? They want to try to kill this Aegis at the very least. Torio going to fly in, going to catch 2 heroes. Will the Radiant be able to escape? Arrow going to fly in as well, but unfortunately the Punch Hook does whiff. Anti-Mage is going to drain everybody's mana when Mirana completely out of mana. Looks like the Shackle Shot going to fly in, hit the Leshrac. Leshrac takes the fall once again without even using his BKB. And Dire just going to get his push going. All they lost was the Lich.
Yeah, even without a Lich, it doesn't matter. The Dire squad are very capable of pushing without him. They've got the creep waves going their way now. They've got Keeper of the Light spamming Illuminate. And there's too much mana drain on their team right now. In combination between Keeper of the Light's Mana Leak, which is now level 2, and Anti-Mage's right clicks, none of the Radiant team have any mana to cast their spells. And without their spells, they have none of the little AoE that they had to start out with.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Arcane Boots is well and good, but in a hectic team fight, I mean, you really just want to have that mana as soon as possible without having to rely on those Arcane Boots. And you don't even have the mana to cast those Arcane Boots, which does require a mana cost. Keep that in mind, 25 mana cost, so they're always at very low mana. But still, just a lot of damage. Dire going to try to get the bottom tier 2. They do have a 6-minute timing on that Aegis, but they still, even if they wait out the Aegis, they still will have enough map control to try to take it once again. But looks like they just want to try to end the game right now, and I can't really blame them.
They've got the setup, and Sand King does have an
Oh
ultimate.
my god, Abyssal Blade up on the Anti-Mage as gonna blink in, immediately go, kill the Zeus in a couple of hits. Abyssal Blade was used, arrow gonna fly, hits keep to the light, Sand King, Epicenter only on one, and that might be the end of this team fight. You need to get the Epicenter on more than one. Pudge is gonna take a bunch of damage, takes the fall as well. Here comes the fight, going towards the Leshrac, blink in, gonna stun the Leshrac, as Sand King gonna take the fall as well. Almost a complete team wipe as the Pudge did buy back. Mirana does manage to pick up a kill on the Lich, but it's just a Lich.
Yeah, and even especially with your Sand King ultimate hitting your Anti-Mage. I mean, that's like the worst hero possibly to hit with it because he's got his spell shield levels up. He's gonna fall. He's gonna lose the Aegis here, but it doesn't matter. They've already secured this Rax. Pudge is gonna get stunned up. He's going to fall. Definitely, without question, and now this Rax is gone. And with the Rax down, I don't think there's any way the Radiant squad can defend. They don't even need to wait for a double Rax here. Anti-Mage is just too far gone.
Yeah, as 4 heroes are still dead, so Dire can probably take another Rax if they want to with that Alacrity Anti-Mage combination. So annoying to deal with, as here comes Alacrity once again. Sand King will not have Epicenter arrows, going to get dodge hits to keep it alight. But yeah, I can't say the Radiant played bad. I just think they got completely outpicked.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't ban Keeper of the Light against the pushing strategy that they wanted to play. I don't know why they didn't pick anything to take towers with, or any pushing heroes really, except for the Leshrac and maybe the Pudge. It really just mystifies me.
Yeah, maybe they just completely forgot Keeper Light was in the game, but he's still there. He's still as annoying as ever. One of the most annoying heroes in the game to deal with. But yeah, even if they let the Keeper Light go through, I think if they had a jungler, they could have at least gotten 1 or 2 more towers at the very least before their push might have stalled out. But those tanky Chen creeps might have been enough to get those towers going. And that mechanism up on the Chen, no mechanism carrier, or at least natural mechanism carrier. Well, Mirana finally finished like a 35-minute mech, but that was definitely did not come nearly in time. So I don't think. Do you happen to remember if Chen or Enchantress was banned? I don't think they were.
I didn't see them banned. I didn't see Enigma banned either. And I think he would have also been perfectly fine, especially since Rubik was banned. He would have definitely been able to do some pushing with his Eidolons early game, even against the lanes that Coddle wasn't in. I mean, the tri-lane mid thing kind of worked, and it shut down Anti-Mage early, but they didn't have the heroes to capitalize off that early win.
Yeah, just smart rotation by SS, even though they lost the mid lane. They managed to get Keeper Light enough experience to get that Illuminate up to a significant level where it still made a huge difference. Anti-Mage might take the fall and disengage it. Should be able to blink out. Here comes the stun's going to chain in on the Anti-Mage. It looks like the arrow does whip. Tornado going to be enough to save the Anti-Mage's life. Doesn't even have buyback. He does have buyback. Anti-Mage picks up a kill. Mirana going to take the fall immediately after. Dies in 3 more swipes. Looks like Leshrac going to take the fall as well. Completely out of mana. Zeus managed to kill the Invoker at the very least. But he's going to take the fall as well. Looks like he's trying to desperately teleport out. Mana Void just says no to that. GG is called. And that's going to end this game by of the TNP Gaming Arena. So looks like SS takes it in pretty convincing fashion. But not to say that UTP did not play well.
Yeah, they played very well. I'll look forward to the rest of the tournament here. This was the loser bracket final. So there will be more games Friday night as well as Saturday and Sunday as we look forward into the rest of the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I definitely think people should come and check it out.
Yeah, as your caster will be Kingdom Nerdia, so twitch.tv/KingdomNerdia, youtube.com/KingdomNerdia if you want VODs. Interesting pickups, Clockwork in one of the games, Zeus a couple of times this tournament, so check him out, give him some love, as, yeah, Season 2 will be coming out very shortly, so you can sign up yourselves. But this should be the end of this game, just waiting for the final score screen. Any last words?
Yeah, I really think it came down to the picks there in this game. Both teams played it well. And it really just, Anti-Mage twice today has really just shown that despite the nerf, he's still very capable as a carry hero.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be the end of this game. As it looks like Anti-Mage is going to suicide in, as we're going to fly out, microed by Zeus. Unfortunately, Anti-Mage was not even able to take, or get killed in that. Zeus does die at the end, but the Ancient is about to die. So that's going to end this match. So thank you all for watching as we approach the final score screen. This has been a presentation of the TNP Gaming Arena. I am BBallin from DotaCommunities.com. Please follow me from twitch.tv/BBallin773 and youtube.com/BBallin773. And the main caster is Kingdom Nerdia, twitch.tv/Kingdom Nerdia and youtube.com/Kingdom Nerdia. Thank you for watching and see you soon.